Powered by Virginia Radio.
What's up? I want to thank y'all for coming to Powered by Virginia. My name is Alton Beckett, and this is my podcast, which is Let Me Say Something, and I am also known as Big Al, the HNIC. And listen, guys, this is going to be a continuation of what we were talking about last time, which was black women. What do you bring to the table? Part 2. And there was a lot of response about that. You know, I got a little traction on that one. So we're gonna keep doing it. But guys, I'm gonna talk to y'all today a little bit too. Okay, so not gonna be just the women. I'm gonna talk to y'all too. Now, just so y'all know, Let Me Say Something is a podcast dealing with the black community. And there are times I'm gonna be talking about politics, relationships, black culture, whatever has to do with the black community. I'm going to be talking about. So there's no just one thing that I'm going to be dealing with all the time, every time you come to my podcast. So there's going to be a hodgepodge of things that are going on. This time we're talking about black relationships between black men and black women, because we seem to have a problem. And as I told you last week, we got to solve those problems in order for this culture, for our black men and women, our black children, our black culture to prosper and go further than we've ever been before. Okay, right now we have a little problem with communication, and I'm not really sure why that is. I know some, I talked about the modern woman, and I'm gonna talk about y'all again too, because I think y'all are some of the culprits there. But it's not just the women. We men, we get a bad rap too, and a lot of us have earned it. Okay, a lot of women are like, listen, I might as well be by myself if you're gonna sit there and be worthless. I might as well, and then a lot of these women are being taught that black men ain't shit. And some of you guys are really, really, really validating that statement. Okay, that's something we got to stop doing. We got to be better. We got to be, and we can't be individuals doing it. We got to be better as a whole, as one people to do that. So when we talk about black women, what do you bring to the table? I changed that question last week, and I'm gonna go over it one more time. So instead of asking that question, what I'm going to be asking you is, for the man that you desire, what value do you bring to his life as a woman that will want to make him choose you over everyone else? Ponder that for a minute. I'm going to say it one more time. For the man that you desire, what value do you bring to his life as a woman that will want him to make him choose you over everyone else? So when we get asked that question, what do you bring to the table? That's the question that's being asked. That's the real question that's being asked to you. So don't get offended by it. Although I understand why you are. It's kind of like an interview question. But relationships are basically interviews. That's what they are. And you want to make sure that you're asking the right question to get the right person. And that's what we're not doing. But ladies, just so you know, we men are very simple. We men are very, very simple. We don't want a whole lot out of a relationship, although you guys say that we do. And this is what I'll ask you ladies too. Do you respect your man? Those of you that have men or in relationships, do you respect your man? Do you speak to him like he's a man or like he's a boy? Do you speak to him like he's a man or like he's a boy? A lot of y'all, and I'm in the Walmart, and I'm in Food Lion and Kroger and all that. I hear y'all talking to some of your men. Y'all be barking at them like they're children. And then you all want to be respected. Now maybe that man has done something for you to disrespect him like you're doing. I don't know. I just know that a public place isn't the place to do that. Okay? And that's something that and I hear that almost every single day when I go out. A man getting yelled at or getting raked over the coals over something. I have no idea what it's about. I saw a couple the other day getting out the car, and she's just yelling and screaming at this guy. He has his head down, just walking, and she's right behind him, taking her finger and pushing in his head. like I said he's a good one because I'm gonna be allowing that crap happening. You know, not in the parking lot or anywhere else for that matter. But that's what's going on. You know, the other thing too is, are you supportive of your man? Are you supportive of your man? You know, are you helping him get to the next level? Are you helping him get through, go up the rungs of the ladder? Are you helping him to be better than he ever thought he could be? Because when you have a good woman, a man will go through it. I said this before and I keep saying it. When you have a really good woman that supports you, a man really will reach levels that he never thought he could reach. All because of you. All because of your support and belief in him. All because you believing that he is on the right path and he's taking you with him. And I don't see that a lot right now. These modern women. When I say modern, I'm talking you ladies that are under 30. You know, I don't see a whole lot of that. And maybe it's out there. I just don't see it. But from what I've seen, and I'm moving around an awful lot. From what I've seen, it doesn't happen. You know, modern women are saying I can do it by myself. I don't need no man. I don't need no help with my baby. I don't need, you know, that's what I hear. And maybe there's something else out there. Maybe there, I mean, and I'm not saying there's every single female that does that, modern woman that does that. I'm just saying that's what I hear a lot. You know, and quite honestly, it's not fair to men. It's not fair because you chose badly. Because you chose badly, you should not blame that on the next man coming down the pike. He might be a good one, but you're so jaded, you're so angry, you feel so betrayed that when that next guy comes, you take it out on him, and you start beating him over the head with all of your insecurities. You start beating him over the head of all the bad stuff that's happened, where you couldn't take it on the other man, so you take it on this guy who might be a pretty good guy. And he hangs in there long enough trying to stay a good guy, but you get him beat. He gets beaten down so badly that he changes. And I know you guys are going to be saying, "Well, Al, you know, you keep saying the same thing over and over again. You say it in different ways." Yeah, yeah, that's true. Because these are things that you need to hear. From where I stand, and I'm a lot older than most of y'all, probably all of y'all watching this. Okay. The black community is in trouble. The black community is in trouble. You know, the black woman has chosen babies as opposed to marriage. You know, baby daddies as opposed to husbands. And we're the only, and I mean the only culture in the world that does that. In the entire world, we're the only culture that does that. I was talking to a young lady. She's 27 years old. I said, well, when she had a baby when she was 25. I said, well, did he ask you to marry him? She said, yeah. I said, but why didn't you marry him? She goes, I don't want to marry him. I said, but you have a baby by him and you guys are living together. Make it make sense. You know, and she really couldn't. The only thing she could tell me was she didn't want to marry him, but she's living with him. She's cooking, she's cleaning, she's doing everything, but she's not his wife and he's not her husband. I don't understand. I don't understand. I need somebody to make it make sense for me. Yeah, see, and by the way, guys, if you're gonna call in, it's gonna be 757-964-9367. That's 757-964-9367. If you have a comment, you want to say something, even if you want to say hi, that's fine. Give us a call. We put you on the air, okay? But I just want somebody to make it make sense. Because to me, it does not. And I know, and listen, I get called, you know, Al, you too old, you don't understand, blah, 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 blah. I do understand, because I'm so old that back in the day, I remember when you're getting married, you're getting relationships, and they were serious. That's how old I am. And what I want to make sure that that happens, and what I'm looking to do, and what I'm looking to trying to find out is how has it changed? How did it change? Why did it change? Do you encourage him? Do you encourage him to do better? Do you encourage him to be better? Do you care about his well-being? Those are things that are important to men. Like I keep saying, we are really very simple creatures. I mean, there's nothing complicated about men. I wish we were more complicated, but we're not. We're not. We come home, we want calm, we want peace, we want tranquility. That's what we're looking for. And ladies, I'm trying to understand you all, and that's why we're having these podcasts, about the table. I'm just trying to understand, as far as where you guys are coming from, what you guys are looking for, what you guys need, because a lot of us want to be that guy, that not only that you want, but the guy that you also need. Once you realize that relationships are partnerships, whether they're long-term relationships, whether they're marriage, it doesn't matter. Those are partnerships, but they're not 50-50. They're not 50-50. A lot of y'all try to do the 50-50 stuff, okay? But they're not 50-50. You got your strength, he has his strengths, and then you guys then there are some things that you come together on that you both do well. But basically there's stuff that she does well that he doesn't do well. There's basically stuff that he does well that she doesn't do well. Or someone has a priority for those, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's certainly nothing wrong with that. And like I said, some of this stuff is kind of boring, so people don't want to hear that. People like, you have a relationship, you think you Dr. Phil, blah, blah, blah. No, I don't. But, Dr. Phil ain't in the black community talking. He ain't doing that kind of stuff. He don't give a darn. Okay? So, when you talk about long-term relationships, even as marriage, those are supposed to offer the benefits of physical, psychological, and financial well-being and rewards. And what it simply means is that you work together. You pool your resources together. You build a future together. And that's what a relationship is. And that's simply what it means. I mean, when you start trying to be independent, do it alone, being the Lone Ranger, you're going to go off track. You're just simply going to go off track. There's no way about it. And keep in mind, and the reason why I keep bringing up the black woman is when the black woman goes off track, then the whole culture goes off track. And it's harder to bring it back when the black woman goes. When the black man goes off, the black woman can pull us back. But when the black woman, when she goes off the track and goes into the swamp somewhere, the culture just goes with her. And it's not a pretty thing. And that's what I'm trying to get you guys. That's what I want you to understand. There's nothing wrong with relationships. Now there may be a wrong way that you do it. There may be a wrong way that you do it, but there's nothing wrong with relationships. A lot of you women don't do enough vetting when you get these men. You just don't do enough vetting. You don't do enough talking. You don't question enough. You don't do enough questioning. Okay, and we men are the same way too. We see what we like because we're visual. Men are visual. We see what we like and we go after that, etc. And you be saying stuff like, I go to college, we don't care. I got a car, we don't care. I got a bank, we don't care. We're visual. If it looks good and looks good to us, we're going to go after it. Because our thought process is everything else we sort out later. We sort everything else out later. Now men, I'm not going to let you off the hook either. Men, Man, we've been messing up. We've been messing over our black women. We have been disappointing our black women. We have said things and done things to make them not trust us. Yeah, we have. Don't act like we haven't. We have. It's not every black man, but it doesn't matter. It only takes one for that particular woman that you like. It only takes one in her life to get her thinking in a negative way about all black men. And that's what's been happening. You know, grandma tells ma tells you tell your kid, black men ain't nothing. Make sure you got your own. Black men ain't nothing. Make sure you got a place to go, place to stay. Blah, blah, blah. Don't give him this. Don't give him that. You better not rub his feet. You know, let him rub his own damn feet. Blah, blah. You know, that's what you get when you have women. You're dealing with a woman, and sometimes women that just don't choose the right men, and it becomes a generational thing. You know, because you only go by what you see, what you see. So men. This is what I'm gonna try to help. I'm gonna try to help you guys out with this. Okay, I was on YouTube. I was going all over YouTube, trying to figure out what women want. And the one thing I concluded was that women don't know what the heck they want. And I'm saying I went all over YouTube looking for what do women want, etc. And man, the answers were incredible. They went all over the place. To conclude, hey, women just don't know what they want. Y'all are confusing to us. Because you say one thing, but you do something else. You do one thing, you say something else. But I got it down to, but I've got a baker's dozen of what women want, okay? Now, men, listen carefully to this, all righty? You may not agree with all of them, but I narrowed it down to a baker's dozen. Alrighty. The first thing women want is they want you to stand up to her. Okay. They want you to be a man and stand up to her. Look her in the eye, say what you got to say, etc. Stand firm on your commitment. All right. And why? Because if you can't stand up to her, then you can't stand up for her. So if you can't stand up to her, she thinks you can't stand up for her, and she will probably be right. The other one is, and this one used to get me in trouble all the time, but you must be able to say no and stand your ground. You must be able to say no to her and stand your ground. And I'm just grinning because that got me in such trouble when I was married. You know, love my wife, beautiful woman, but she wasn't used to hearing the word no because of the way she looked. Men didn't tell her no. They would say, okay, we try to do it, and they would kill themselves trying to please her. So when she met me, I was like, no, we're not doing that. And she was like, okay, right, okay. So like I said, and I said, again, we're not doing that. And first thing she did was she called her sister. And she said, can you believe that this fool is telling me no? And her sister goes, what? Now what her sister had to do with it, I have no idea. But that's what happened. And then when we finally got married, I asked her, why? I said, what made you think that you wanted to marry me? She said, you were the first and only man to ever tell me no. As crazy as it seems, that was her answer. All I did was just shook my head. I'm telling you. The other thing is and number 3, you want to be authentic. She must trust the words and actions. She must trust that your words and actions are true. That you mean them. That you're not saying them just to do something. You're not saying them just to get something. That you mean what you say. A lot of men saying, yeah, I do that, but I get in such trouble. She started yelling, screaming, etc. Yeah. When that happens, refer back to the number 2. Stand your ground. Be able to say no. Okay. Now the other thing, the next one is you have to What you say and what you do have to match up. What you say and they have to match up. They have to match up. It's called congruency. So what you say and what you do when you're dealing with a woman, they has to match. Because she's watching for that. Are you going to say something and do something else? Is he going to say it and then go back on it? She's watching all this stuff to find out if you're the man for her. This one got this is the next one got me pretty good, which was don't change or apologize for being who you are. Don't change or apologize for being who you are. My wife used to get on me all the time because she always said I wasn't emotional. I didn't cry at movies. The only time I ever cried was when something happened to one of my children. That's the only time. That's the only thing that brought tears to my eyes. I couldn't help my child, and that would make me that brought tears to my eyes. But other than that, I didn't cry. She's always asked me, why can't you cry? I want to see you cry. I want to see you cry, and I just couldn't do it. I didn't apologize for it. I said, listen, I just don't cry. I'm not that emotional kind of guy. It's not something that's not something I was taught to do. It's just something I don't do. I just don't feel it the same way you do. Because she was always crying. My daughter too. My daughter cries all the time. She's watching the movie, man. She buckets of tears and all that. And I'm just looking at her like, and they're like, doesn't that affect you? Don't you find that to be sad? Oh yeah, it's sad, but yeah, it's sad. I don't see why I would cry about it, but yeah, it's sad. I thought that was an interesting one. This one is pretty important. I thought it said, don't compromise your value system. She wants you to be her rock. A lot of women say, I don't need no man. A lot of women say, I'm a strong, independent woman. Yeah, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. But the bottom line is, when a woman has a man, she wants that man to be her rock. She wants to be able to lean on him and hold on to him. She wants to be him to be, to be standing there like an oak tree in the middle of a hurricane. She wants him to be that dependable with his value system, non-compromising with his value system. And part of his value system should be her, the family, the kids. Uncompromising. Uncompromising. A lot of people say they'll take a bullet for you, but when the time comes, will they really do that? Men, she wants you to be uncompromising. The other thing, and women are going to go crazy with this one. I know I'm going to get some calls about this, and I'm going to get hit on the emails and all that kind of stuff, which is lead the relationship. Now, she must trust that you can lead. She must trust that you can lead. Why is that important? Because she doesn't want to be your mama. She wants, listen, despite what women say, despite what they say, they want to be led. But any old body can't do it. You have to be a strong man to do that. You have to be a focused man to do that. And she has to trust you to do that, but that trust has to be earned. You can't be leading her the first day you meet her. It has to be earned. So she does not want to be your mother. She wants to be with a man that is a leader, and more importantly, a man that can lead her. That doesn't mean you grab by the arm and jerk her. That doesn't mean you push her. That just means by your character, by your strength of character alone, she's going to fall in goose step with you and walk right behind you or beside you, wherever you want. Again, the number here is 757-964-9367. If you send me something by text, I am in Facebook jail, so I'm not able to see it. Okay, doesn't mean you can't send it. I'll see it eventually. But I am in Facebook jail for something I said about Joe Biden back on May 26th. All right, I got 2 more weeks to go before I get out of Facebook jail for saying something about Jim Crow Joe Biden. And yeah, I'm biting. I'm coming for you a little bit later, brother, because you're going off the deep end, man. It's crazy. You got a hearing and not all the facts are there, man. Give me a break. But anyway, I digress. This next one. This got me for 20 years, man. Men, when you talk to your wife, ask for clarification, because she will think you can read her mind. I told my woman for 22 years, I cannot read your mind. Are you saying A, B, or C? Before she would answer that, she would say, what do you mean? You don't know what I'm talking about? Why did she would go off on a tangent about 5 minutes about how she's being very, very clear, and she does not understand why I don't understand what she's saying. And for 5 minutes, I'm doing this. So does that mean that you are or aren't? Does that mean you will or you won't? And I'm trying to ask clarifying questions so that I know exactly what she wants. And that one is a difficult one, because I got to tell you, women, ladies, when y'all talk, y'all are not very clear to us men, because we're cut and dry. You know, y'all be talking in a way, but that is just, that we just don't understand. You know, sometimes the way y'all talk doesn't even sound like English to us. And we ask that you, and so when we ask you clarifying questions, we're trying to figure out exactly what you're saying, so that we don't have to hear your mouth later about what we did not do, did not understand. Okay, so men, don't be afraid, because some of y'all are afraid to ask clarifying questions. And I know she's going to yell, and she might yell, she might scream. I get it, dude. I get it. Been there, done that. Okay? But please, you've got to know what she's saying. Ladies, we need to understand what you're saying so we can do what you want. When you're not, we need to know what you want so we can do what you want. That's why we ask clarifying questions. We're not trying to be pricks or anything like that. We're not trying to be smart. We just want to know exactly what you're saying. Simple as that. This next thing is interesting because it depends on the woman, I think, but a man should have his own opinions and should be able to stick by them and explain them. Okay? A lot of times you and your lady may have different opinions. Nothing wrong with that. Okay? As long as you're not fighting about the opinion, as long as you're not trying to make someone come to your side or vice versa. Okay? You need to be able to explain yourself, articulate your opinion, and let her know exactly how you feel, and this is why you feel this way. But that was a kind of a tough one, because a lot of times women don't want to hear your opinion. They want to hear their own opinion, and they want to go ahead and they want you to just fall in line with them and do what they want, and they don't really want to hear your opinion. You know, so which is why you have to stand your ground. And once again, I'm not saying being a prick. I'm just saying, in order for us to understand each other, we have to ask clarifying questions. Ladies, because you guys talk a language we don't understand. For sure. We don't understand it. This next one, you know, women want men that don't need them, but sees her as a benefit, not as a necessity. That was an interesting one for me. Okay, women want men that don't need them, but see them as a benefit, but not as a necessity. In other words, you're with her, or she's with you because you want her to be there. But you don't need her to be there. But she's an asset when she is there with you. She's an asset by being with you. She's an asset that makes you better. She actually becomes and is your better half, not because someone says it, but because it's actually true. She becomes your better half. And I think that's pretty cool. And I think we've gotten away from that, black men, black women. We've definitely gotten away from that. Throw something flew in my eye for a second there. So that's something we definitely want to get back to. We want, women want men that don't need them, but sees them as a benefit, not a necessity. I like that one. I think that's pretty cool. This next one is going to get misinterpreted very badly, but I want to say it again. It's not really redundant. It's almost redundant, but it's not. But it said you need to be the alpha male. You need to be the alpha male. You need to be a leader. You need to be masculine. You need to be assertive. Not an asshole, though. Not an asshole. Not a butthole, not a prick, but the alpha male. She needs to be able to look at you and know you're going to handle the situation. And I'm not talking about necessarily, I'm not talking about, violence necessarily. I'm just talking about whatever the situation might be. How are we going to pay the mortgage? How are we going to get this car fixed? How are we going to get the kids back and forth to school? How she needs you to be the alpha male. She needs you to have the answer. She needs you to have the answer, or at least get with her and come up with an answer. But once it gets all the way back to being the leader. Women can say what they want, but they don't want a beta male. They don't want a situation where they have a man, but they're making all the decisions. They're making all the decisions. He's just there. They don't want the beta male. But a lot of times that's what they get. As a result, they think all men, or most men, are like that. Be the alpha. Be the decision maker. Be the guy with the answer. Be the guy that she can depend on. The alpha male. This one is interesting, which is, and once again, we're going over things that women want out of a man. This is what we're doing, going over things that women want out of a man. This is the things that I've found, the baker's dozen that I've found. And once again, these are the best answers I've found. The main thing I found was women really don't know what they want. But out of the answers that I found, these are the ones that I decided to write down. Okay? The next one is, you must be willing to walk away. The male, the alpha male, must be willing to walk away. She needs to understand that you're there because you value her. You're there because you want to be there. You're there because you care about her. You're there because you want her involved in your life. That's why you're there. But if she goes off on a deep end, she needs to understand, hey, listen, I will walk away. I'm going to give you a couple of warnings, and we're going to talk about it, etc. But if you keep doing that, there are consequences. And men, just so you know, women do not like consequences. They don't even like to hear the word consequence. They don't even like to hear the word consequence. But they need to understand that you want them, and you need them, but because they're a benefit, because they're a value. But at the same time, if they're going off and making your life difficult, if they're putting a strain in a relationship, if they're not providing peace, calm, and tranquility, then they need to understand that you're ready to walk away. You're going to talk to her. You're going to give her a chance here. You're going to give her opportunity to change. You're going to give her, let her know what's bothering you, etc. If she can't change, she needs to understand. And listen, I'm not the kind of man going to sit here and take this abuse off of you over and over again. You're not going to be cursing me out every single day over nothing. You're not going to be, threatening to hit me with this and telling me. You're not going to be telling me, better sleep with one eye open. You're not going to be telling me that and expect me to stay here. Because there are other places I can go, other people I can be with that will not cause me the same agita, the same grief. She needs to understand that. And that's a big one. That's a big one. That's one I do live by. You know, the other thing is an interesting one, and this is the last one. You know, women believe that men should have a purpose. You know, men should have a purpose. Okay, now the purpose is not. Now this is coming from women. Is not to put the woman on a pedestal. A lot of you simps, men, are put women on pedestals, and you do everything you can to please that woman. You buy her this, you buy her that, etc. And guess what? You still get no respect. You take her this place, etc. You still don't get any respect. Why? You put that woman on a pedestal. And when you put somebody on a pedestal, well, guess what? They look down on you because you put them up there. They look down on you. So you simps, men, and once again, this is coming from women are saying this. Women are saying, don't put women on a pedestal. Because they're going to look down on you eventually. No matter what you do. No matter what you do. You think you're a good dude because you provide this for her. She wants that, you get that, you etc. You know, you're giving her no grief at all, man. Everything she wants, she gets it better. Her life is so good, it can't be any better. Yeah, it can. She wants a bit of a challenge. She wants a bit of a challenge. She wants a man that's doing something. She wants a man that has a purpose. She wants a man that's working on his self-development. Maybe his family values, maybe his business, maybe his career, his degree. He's in school. A man that's striving to do something with his life, which will better for the betterment of himself and whoever is with him at the time. That's what they're looking for. That's what they want. And you would think it's not that hard to do. You would think it's not that hard to do, but see, ladies, one of the things I would tell you is that in looking at what you guys want, and looking at what and how you pick your men, you're not doing enough vetting. You're picking them up for different reasons. Even though these 13 reasons are the ones that I came that are the most frequent reasons, frequent things that a woman want from a man. There are very few women, if I set them down individually, that would say this. Those reasons came from a lot of different sources, a lot of different women, and no two women said the same thing about what they wanted out of a man, except they want him to have money and a good stroke. That was pretty common. So once again, women don't know what they want, but men, I just told you the 13 things that women are looking for out of a man. And they may not want all 13, but if you got a majority of them, you're all right. You're walking the path. You're being the man that she's looking for, the man that she wants to be with, the man she's going to stay with as a partner. Now, men. So men. You've heard what women want, so I have this question for you, men. Are you offering women genuine value from a woman's perspective, or are you trying to get something from them? That makes a difference. Oh, ladies, you didn't hear the question. I'm gonna say the question again, ladies. This is for men. Are you offering women genuine value from a woman's perspective, or are you trying to get something from them? And a lot of you ladies are gonna say, "Oh, it's the latter. It's the latter. You're trying to get something from them, man. They're not being real. Blah 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 blah." I'm not gonna go along with that. Some guys just say anything just to get what they want. When you say what they want, ladies, you have to talk about sex. He may not want sex. May not be the thing that he wants from you. That he wants from you, but sex may be the way he gets what he wants from you. Think about that. But I got to tell you, you modern women You all confuse us. You confuse us because with that particular question, all y'all would probably say things like they're trying to get something from us, you know. But when a good guy approaches you and doesn't have game, you say he's boring. You say I don't want him. He's tired. He's this one. You know, a lot of you ladies get approached by good guys, but you turn them down because you think they're boring or they're not tall enough or not cute enough or whatever the case may be. So you confuse us. You confuse us men in front of what you want. You know. So the good guy, he has to go back and he has to develop game. You know. And game was explained. And game was, I don't know, anybody watch Cooley High? Because I'm going to explain game to you. You know, in Cooley High, Glenn Thurman was trying to rap to this young lady. I can't remember. She was a light skin. She was supposedly the beauty. She was stuck up. You know, she was prettier than everybody. She was light skin and all that kind of stuff. You know, the girls didn't like her. The guys were in awe of her, but nobody would approach her. She was always by herself. So Glenn Thurman had tried to approach her, man, and he got shot down and shot down and shot down. They said, man, why you keep approaching her? Because you keep getting shot down. He goes, man, I just got to figure out the right lie to tell her to get what I want. Game. That's all it is. That's all it is. That's all it is. That's the best example of the definition of game that I've ever heard. And ladies, y'all keep falling for that game every time, and you keep ending up with guys that you don't want to be with, that hurt you, or where the long term is just not there, where you may not end up not respecting him, or you may end up fearing him. You got to help us guys out here, because there are a lot of guys out there that are good guys that want you, but you keep shooting them down because what you want. Listen, I get it. A lot of y'all men and women out there are 304s. I get it. And a lot of times 304s meet each other and run into each other and, well, you know, do each other. You know, and keep in mind now, the guy with the best game that steps to you first is more. It could quite honestly be a Pookie or a Ray Ray. Because he's been doing it for a long time. The good guy, he's you know, he's in the house, or he's at his job, or he's doing some other stuff, trying to be productive. But there are a lot of guys out there that are just waiting for you to walk by so they can throw their game at you and see if they can tell you the right lie to get what they want. And y'all fall for that. Well, guess what? If one lie works, the second one and the third one and fourth one, 20, 30, 40, 50 lies later, y'all still together. He's been lying all the entire time. And y'all just start to catch on. Is he lying to me? Yes. If you have to ask the question, the answer is yes. So y'all confuse us men with this. At least the good guys you confuse. You know, and the problem is not that you choose to be with the Pookies and Ray Rays. Okay, this has to do with choice. You're with the Pookies and Ray Rays, but guess what? You end up having, you skip marriage and go right to babies. I said before, and I'll keep saying it. I'll keep saying it. This weakens the black community. There's no community in America that has babies out of wedlock more than black women. And some, you know, and a lot of y'all say, well, it was an accident. I don't want to even hear that. Because there's all kinds of ways to protect yourself. You know, I'm not saying don't sleep with Pookie. I'm just saying, why are you getting pregnant by Pookie? You know, then you get pregnant by Pookie or Ray Ray, and all of a sudden y'all turn around. I don't know why he doesn't want to be the father, because he did not lay down with you to be the father. He was trying to get some and then move on and tell his boys about it. That's all. And then y'all turn around and try to make a relationship out of nothing. For me, that's the confusing part. That's the confusing part. You know, then when you choose badly, you choose badly. You might end up with a baby by Pookie or Ray Ray. Now you're trying to get a good guy, and he knows that you've been with Pookie or Ray Ray because he's like, oh, you got a kid or 2 kids or 3 kids. A lot of guys don't want to walk into that because Pookie or Ray Ray could be crazy, or you could still be with that guy. Or a lot of you women are with these guys, but you're not with them. But they can come over and I'm bringing my son a present, and then all of a sudden they spend the night because you're giving them a present too. Make it make sense. Make it make sense, because I don't understand. So ladies, I just want you to understand this, okay? Because you're making choices that are not good choices. That's why the question of what you bring to the table is a great question. It's just phrased badly. But I want you to understand, but I want to say this to you so you can understand where I'm coming from. Which is, ladies, black women in particular, understand, you will never be good enough for the wrong person. That person will never see your value. Say it again? Okay, I'll say it again. You will never be good enough for the wrong person. That person will never see your value. So what do? You say, well, Big Al, what do we do? What do you do? You're supposed to be the HNIC. What do we do? What do we do? So, what do we do? Well, listen, it's confusing because a lot of times y'all keep confusing your want with what you need, and that's what you got to you got to straighten out your want versus your need. You want a man that makes a lot of money, $100,000. That's what you want. But you need a man with a job that provides steady income and insurance. That's what you need. You want a man with a nice car. But you need a man with good credit to get that nice car. You want a man that will dig you out every time the right way. You need a man who only wants to be with you and only you. It's your want versus your need. When I was married, I used to go back with my wife about that all the time, about want versus need, want versus need. I used to always ask her, do you want it or do you need it? And she would say, well, if I say I want it, that means I need it. I said, no. Want, those are two separate things. And she would get frustrated with me all the time because I always asked her, well, do you want that or do you need that? And towards the end of our relationship, she started understanding what I meant, but she was so locked in her ways that she didn't want to admit that I was right. But you women confuse us men with this want versus need. With this want versus need, because y'all are confusing to us. Y'all get that all jumbled up. Want versus need. You need a good man. But you want the Pookie down the street that's breaking headboards. You need a good father to your children. But you want the guy that's going around breaking all the ladies back to the neighborhood, and they're like, ooh, wee. Want versus need. And that's something that you have to figure out, ladies. That is something that you have to figure out. And make it make sense. Make it make sense, because a lot of things that you guys do and say don't make sense to me. And I'm not saying it's silly. I'm just saying it doesn't make sense. Because it must make sense to you. ladies, you all need to be vetting men properly. You know, Steve Harvey has some book out. I can't remember the name of it. Think Like a Man, something like that. Anyway, but one of the things he said there's a 90-day period where you don't give up the cookie. Now, frankly, I don't believe in that because I can't think of any man that's going to wait around 90 days for you. Okay, you know, a simp might do that, but 90 days is a long time because we men are talking to y'all because we want to get with y'all. And for us to go out there spending money, etc. Now we take y'all out, and then all of a sudden y'all are paying your way, I'm paying, and that goes on for 3 months. Okay, cool. But there's no woman that's going to pay for herself to go out on dates with a man for 3 months. But that same woman would think it's okay to withhold the cookie for 3 months. That's insane. So yeah, so on that one, I just don't agree with. Okay? So the question is, what do? You need to vet properly. Ask the right questions. Ask them often. Don't be ashamed to ask those questions. You know, the other thing is do things for the right reason. Stop trying to make excuses for bad decisions. Stop trying to make excuses when you do something wrong. Be accountable for what you do. And if there's one thing I see with you ladies are simply not accountable for their actions. They're making all kinds of excuses. They're saying all kinds of things. And other women are going like, yeah, girl, you're right. It's like, no, she's not right. Why y'all keep telling her she's right when she's not right? That's crazy. That's crazy. Look, when you ladies are going around looking for men, the thing you guys are saying that there are no good men, which is unbelievable. Because women of other races and other cultures, they find men, black men, to have long-term relationships with and to marry. And a lot of those guys are good guys. It's just that you black women didn't want them at the time. So what I'm saying is, balance your want and your need. Get into a relationship where you know you're going to be a partner in a relationship and understand that partnership is not 50-50. Get into a relationship where you know you're going to contribute something to the relationship. You know, and you're going to build a foundation to grow on. Stop trying to find the men that have already crossed the finish line and don't need you for any reason whatsoever. A lot of you modern women 30 years and under, you're all looking for men that have already crossed the finish line where you're all got to do nothing but show up and blow up. That's all. Just show up and blow up. You know, I got a nice face. I got a small waist. I got a nice butt. Blah blah blah. That's all he needs. No, that's not all he needs. Not for long term. And that's what we're talking. We're talking long term relationships. We're not talking, you know, we're not talking the quick thing and all that kind of stuff. So we want to make sure that you all are doing what you're supposed to do. Vet a little bit better. Balance your want versus your needs. And one thing's really important is to understand what you want. Because like I said, when I did my research, man, what you women wanted from men, you guys were all over the place. You were all over the place. You know, even some of y'all that were like 40 and 50 were sounding all crazy. Like y'all were 20, like y'all were 19 or something. You know, he's got to have this. He's got to make $100,000. He's got to drive a really nice car. He's got to, and I'm like, you sitting there, your ashy self. My God, make it make sense. And ladies, this is the biggest thing that I'm going to ask you to do. This is the one thing that you're going to say I'm crazy. Make the original choice with your brain. Balance out your heart. Let the brain take over. You know, make it a 60-40 thing, brain heart. Give the guy that's a good guy. Give the guy that took all the courage that to step to you. Give that guy a chance. And once again, we're talking long-term relationship. We're not talking, this thing. I heard someone I'm in a long-term relationship. How long has it been? They said 11 months. Like, oh, please, that's not long-term. For those of you that say I've been in a relationship on and off for the last 12 years, I don't consider on and off a long-term relationship. It's on when it's on, it's off when it's off. You're kind of like boats floating in the night hitting each other. Listen, we have a lot of work that we have to do in our community. And it all starts with black men and black women getting together. It starts with black men and black women communicating together. Black men and black women understanding each other. And then working together. Because when a black man and a black woman work together, there's no more powerful force on earth than us. Than a black man and black woman. There's no more powerful force on earth. With all we've been through, the history that we've been through. We men need you, and women, you need us. Regardless of what you say, regardless of how you say it, you need us, and we need you. And we are better with you than without you. Please. Hear what I'm saying. Send this podcast to someone that you think might need it. And by the way, I got on the men too. So I wasn't just on black women, I was on black men. Okay? I'm just saying it because I know someone's listening and she's going to call me later and say, why did you just talk about black women? Why about black men? Okay, so you guys are a witness. I talked about black men and I talked about black women. Okay? But the thing is that, and for me, the black women direct the culture. Black women have the children. Black women are the ones that are the sensitive ones. They're the emotional ones. They're the ones that provide support so that a man can rise to his highest height. Without you women, we're not motivated to do much of anything. We're really not. You all give us a motivation because you give us a love. You all give us the stamina. Because the main thing that we want to do for you black women as a black man is to make you happy, is to please you. But most of all, we want you all to be proud of us. And you'll be surprised how far that takes a man. A lot of guys straighten up their ways once to get the right woman, and she's treating them the right way. A man will straighten up. Okay? And I'm telling you, that's what we're looking for. That's what we want. And once we start doing that as a whole in our community, the community will come back together, the community will get stronger, and we will start striving like we're supposed to be. Because we are so far behind everybody. We are so far behind everybody. But it's not too late. It's never too late. But listen, I want to take the time to thank y'all for coming to my podcast. Now let me say something. Next week I think I'm going to be doing something political because Biden's going crazy. But listen, once again, if you want to give a call or if you want to, you can text it out 757-964-9367. I will not see it, but Loud will see it. He'll let me know. Okay, so listen, I want to thank y'all for coming, and remember, be your best and stay blessed. This is Big Al, the HNIC signing off. See y'all next week. Bye bye.
Powered by Virginia Radio.